Hey everybody, it's your boy Kai, and welcome to the Kyrus Has Friends podcast, where I sit down with the people that mean the most to me. Those people are my colleagues and my friends. Before we get started, be sure to follow me on your favorite social media platforms. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at The Vibe with Kai, or you can visit my official website at thevibewithkai.com, where I'm always posting blogs and visuals that'll help you do good, feel good, be good, and live a good life full of good vibes. You can also visit thevibewithkai.com to get your official Vibe with Kai gear. Get your hats, get your t-shirts, get your hoodies, and kick off 2021 in style with good vibe gear. But enough about me. Enough about me and my nonsense. I'm sitting here with a very special guest today. Let me tell you a little bit about this woman that you see on the screen right now. She is a social media influencer whose mantra is find your 2.0, and it has inspired people all over the globe, including me. In fact, I'm wearing her hat. This is part of her gear that she sells. You can get on her stuff. You can get your t-shirts and your hats and your hoodies and things like that. And here's what I love about my guest today. She has this mantra, 2.0. And it kind of pretty much focuses on the fact that if you've reached the point in your life where you need a clean slate, if you're looking to start fresh, if you're ready to really go find your true self, this incredible woman did that. And she's been documenting her entire experience because she is living her best life. And she wants you to do the same. Sitting with me today, hailing all the way from Southern California, the sunny Southern California. I'm sitting with my good friend, Misty2point0. Hi, Misty. Happy, what's today? Friday. Happy New Year.
It is a Friday, and it is New Year's.
It is a Friday. It is New Year. You are the first guest in season 2 of Kyrus Has Friends, the podcast. It's a new year. It's a new season. This is an exciting time for me. Tell me, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you to be in my presence today?
I mean, typically my typical response would say I'm a 2.0, but I'm going to make an exception and I'm going to go like 10 out of 10 would probably recommend.
That's a good answer. And because you answered that question correctly, I will allow you to continue and finish out this broadcast.
Okay, great.
How are you, Misty? How are you doing today? How is your? This is the first day of the new year that we're recording this, January 1st, 2021. We just left 2020. How are you feeling right now?
I have already completed and started the first day of my resolution to get myself back in the gym.
Very nice. You did Orange Theory today, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I went to Orange Theory and I did 2 back-to-back classes. And I might not be able to walk tomorrow, but I feel good about doing it today. So.
Well, what did they say? Pain is weakness leaving the body. That is what they say.
This is true. This is true. I feel like 2021 is off to a good start.
Was there a lot of people there that don't normally go to Orange Theory because it's like the first of the year? So there's a bunch of people that are trying to get that in.
No, I think people that go to Orange Theory always go to Orange Theory. Like, I don't think we had the newbies that were like, oh, this is the day I'm going to start over. I think we had the regular crew for this one today.
I got you. How excited are you? What's up? Go ahead.
No, I was saying half that crew stayed and was crazy for 2 classes in a row with me. So pretty sure it was the regulars.
Gotcha. I gotcha. How excited are you that we're in a new year?
I mean, here's my thing. I think a lot of people looked at 2020 like this was the worst year of our lives, right?
Sure.
Believe me, I had
in their defense, the world was on fire.
The world was on fire. There was a pandemic. There was a lot of turmoil. There was a lot of things. And believe me, I had my fair share of downs in 2020, but I've said this to a lot of people, I am going to look back on 2020 as actually probably one of the best years of my life, hands down.
Yeah.
And I find it very ironic and very inspiring to myself that it's a 2 and a 0. So
you know what? Yeah.
part of me, and I only just thought of that maybe in like the last couple weeks of the year. I went on a trip and I got away, and I think that was when I kind of realized it, that maybe it was a sign. Like 2020 like needed to be my year, so to speak. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
excited for a new year. Like, I mean, I think everybody gets excited when a new year starts and you like have all these ideas and these things that you want to go accomplish. But I'm not going into it like, oh, thank God it's a new year. I'm going into it
Sure.
kind of a little more inspired now to take some ideas like to the next level.
Now, I do, before we get into the nitty gritty of all of this, because I do love your story, and I want to get into, you know, how you got into this mindset that you're in right now, because like that's really important. And that's pretty much what you based your entire 2.0 life around. So we're going to get into that. But before we get into that, I need to make fun of you for a second. I need to be a bully because so Misty and I were texting the other day, and she's like, "Oh, it's so cold outside," and I was like, "Well, what's the temperature?" And she's like, "Oh, it's 55 degrees." Now, here's the thing: I will never, ever, ever feel bad for anybody in Southern California when it's quote unquote cold outside. It's 55 degrees outside. I live in New Jersey, where the high recently was like 18.
That's,
right?
I mean, that's freezing cold.
Yes, it is cold, but you guys are sitting there like, oh, it's so cold. I guess I have to put a shirt on today.
No, I had to put
warm up.
like 2 shirts on
Oh no.
and a hoodie.
Oh man, slow down there, Buckaroo. You might roast.
I'll keep roasting myself because I take no shame in it. It's freezing. It's so cold.
It is 55 degrees. I'm going to call you out on this. That's what we do here on this podcast. We call out the nonsense. That is nonsense. But I do forgive you because you are from Buffalo, if I'm not mistaken.
I am from Buffalo.
Which, if I'm not mistaken, is the coldest place in the solar system. Am I correct?
I mean, it gets pretty cold.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't say it's the coldest place. It's one of the snowiest places. Maybe not the coldest. But I grew up in it. So, I mean, I know cold. But then I also, that's why I don't live there anymore. And that's why I left. And that's why I don't.
Okay. Fair enough. I'll let it slide. I'll let it slide. So here's what I want to do. I want to kind of start at the top here. I want to start at the beginning. How did Misty 2.0 come to be? How did this start?
I got married and divorced.
Fair enough. And that's all we have time for tonight, folks. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Yeah, that's it. Like, done. No, yeah. So, yeah, I was married. I got married and got into this life that, you know, I think when somebody gets married, they think that they're going to be together with somebody forever and they're going to finally have their happily ever after. And I think the reality is, I mean, in California where I live, let's just put out a little statistic. I'm pretty sure the divorce rate is like over 50%. So, I mean, my odds were already against me if I'm a statistic type person.
That's the spirit.
But no, I think, yeah, I got into a relationship with someone. Looking back, I don't know if I settled for that relationship, but it was the first one that I had in a very long time that I felt safe. And sometimes I think now looking back, I don't think feeling safe is like the best way to go into something. But that's what I did. I was young and I had a plan and I found somebody that was cool with that plan. And so it happened. And then I became a mom and brought into this world the most precious thing that like I could have ever imagined. And through that, though, becoming a mom also kind of changed my just perspective on, I think, what became important. We had a bit of a situation where I had to kind of tend to her a little more than probably normal. So it just kind of, it kind of negated out a lot of the relationship things that, you know, you should have focused on. And I think that's another thing, like looking back, you know, if I would have focused on maybe my partner a little more and like made time for that. Who knows like what could happen, but yeah, it just 4 years in with a child and just things weren't working anymore. I started to see a significant decrease in my own self-esteem, my own like ambition to do things. My job, I had been at my job for, I think at that point, like, 10 years. So was very comfortable where I was, but was at a place even at my job that I wasn't going to go up anymore. I was in a very male dominated industry, which I still am today, but that job specifically was all male run, male management. I was actually the first woman in the office to get like a management role, which was cool.
Really?
But the level that I was at was it. Like there, like unless like two men left that like office, it was never going to change. So I just started getting very like just not depressed, but like if you say it that way, like kind of just depressed. Like what am I doing in my job now? What am I doing in my life? My marriage is falling apart, and yeah. So at the end of 2018, I basically wiped all of it. We got divorced. The very last day of my job was actually New Year's Eve 2018. So I left that job, started a new job.
2 years to the date, pretty much.
2 years to the date. Yep. So I literally just completed like 2 years at my new job. So yeah, I took that new job, started a new life as a single mom, and was scared out of my mind. I think looking forward from it, I was thinking I need to just start over. Like I can't be held back by things that were holding me back before. So if I just start over, like everything will be fine. And so, yeah, that was the first, like, wipe slate clean mode, I guess. And yeah, so from there, I started the new job, and within 2 weeks of starting the new job, I had to fly back to Buffalo to say goodbye to my grandmother. It was going to be the last time I saw her. And then we came home. I took my daughter with me. We came home, and then I left the following week to go away for 2 weeks for like this proper training that I had to do. So that was going to be the first time I was actually away from my daughter for more than like a day. And on the first full morning of being at my training, I got a call from my mom that my grandmother had died. So I was literally in the middle of nowhere with a bunch of strangers, people I'd never met, trying to complete a training for this new job that was going to be like my thing. And I've never felt more just alone and like lost in my life. It was like I couldn't just like fly home. So I mean, kind of dark joke, but like when somebody dies in Buffalo in the winter, you like can't really bury them. So there was like nothing we could do. Like it wasn't like I could just go home and we could have a funeral and we could process and like start that all. It was nope, now I have to finish this training. I powered through it, 2 weeks, went home, and kind of just went into a like overdrive mode, I think, in my mind, because I started to realize like I needed to find ways to just process like the grief. I needed to process, let's be honest, the grief of like losing my marriage also. I mean, I don't think a lot of people realize it, but it's kind of like the 5 stages of grief. Like when you end a relationship, especially a marriage, I think dating somebody too, it might hold the same value, but like ending a marriage, it is. You go through being angry, and you go through being sad, and you go through being just all of those things. And so I started to work out a ton, thinking like that was going to take away the stress. And I thought that if I could just get my mind back into a place of being happy again, that like we would be good. And so, yeah, I started just working out like a crazy person, and just like kind of more of it too was just to kind of show my kid, right? Like you can do these things. Like, it doesn't matter what happens, like you can do this. And I was always like, for 4 years old when that happened, she's always been very, like, I think advanced, kind of like mentally, like being able to talk to her. So I always said to her, like, I will tell you whatever you want to know, into like any level, like that's like appropriate, right? So I was very open with her, like days that I was crying, like, Mommy, why are you crying? And I would tell her, like, because of this, this, and this. And we just had this relationship that I was like, I want you to see how you can like become whatever you want to be. And no matter what happens, you can still go be whatever you want to be. So that was basically the start of the whole like 2.0. That was probably really long-winded, but that's like that's the
no
basic
time
story.
limit here. but it's what's great is that like, I'm sure that for many people listening to that story, it's not something that is unfamiliar, but not too many people will actually document and show and talk, let alone talk about this kind of thing publicly.
I think one thing that's come from like we haven't gotten to it yet, but my TikTok journey, right, is that I just decided to be transparent with life. Because for me, it was like, why not? Like, I have nothing to hide. I'm not ashamed of anything I've done, because believe me, I've had my fair share of fails and things that maybe I'm not super proud of. But I feel like if you can't be like honest and open with yourself and with other people, then like, what are you doing? And that goes for like even trying to find like relationships again, like actual relationships with people. That was a big thing that like was the cause of like ending my original one, is like the lack of trust and like communicating and being honest and being open. And so I always promised now, like moving forward, like 100% transparency. If there's something somebody wants to know, like open book, like what page do you want to start on?
Sure, absolutely. And I think that's a good thing, because I don't think many people are capable of doing that. Some people don't feel comfortable doing that, and because it's hard. It's easier said than done.
Believe me, this didn't come overnight. Like, I didn't just decide like, let's tell everybody, you know, it's you become more comfortable. And I think that,
and it's still a work in progress.
Still a work in progress. But I think the biggest thing for me was I just became confident again. Like, losing everything and in the way kind of that it happened to me, I was done. Like, my confidence level was like a 0, lowest of all time. And which sucked, to be honest. Like, to be blunt about it, it freaking sucked, because I was always a very like extroverted, outgoing, happy person. And to kind of get taken back down to a level of like, well, what's like, why did all of this happen to me? Was hard to work back to get to a level of being confident to put yourself back out there. So
So what I want to ask you here is, there might be people listening to this right now or watching this right now that want to go on their own 2.0 journey here, right? How does one begin that journey? Like, for somebody that's listening right now that's like, wow, she has really found a way to do this, and I want to find a way to do this as well. What piece of advice would you give them for beginning this journey?
I think for me, like looking back, I kind of just went and just started doing a bunch of stuff, and this kind of just happened. But if like I want to tell somebody like what to look for, what to do, I think the biggest thing is like, what does your 2.0 even look like? Does it include a new job, because that's going to make you a better person? Does it include going and getting fit? You have to decide, I think, first, what's the goal? Like, what is your end game? And then start to be like, okay, well, how do I do that? Like, if it's, I want to become a superstar athlete, like I'm just throwing out ideas. Well, you've got to obviously start practicing. You've got to start, doing different things. So I think first and foremost is like, what do you want? Like, what do you need your life to look like
Mm-hmm.
in order to get that, right? And then I think from there, I had a lot of realization of like spending time with myself, like in my head,
Mm-hmm.
like talking to myself and talking myself through things that I wanted. And talking myself through some kind of scary things that like I wanted to go try to do. And I was like, no, like you can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
You have to kind of like
Right.
keep telling yourself over and over again, like I am enough. Like you are enough. Like you can do this. So I think it's basic. Like I don't want to like make people think like this whole like Find Your 2.0 is some like magical experience of like or hard or whatever. I think it's easy. Like I think it's in, and I don't want to sound like condescending. It's easy to do it because it's not, but it's easy to one day just tell yourself, I can do this. I am enough. And if you just keep telling yourself that, I think eventually like you can kind of slowly believe it. It's
Absolutely.
always funny. Like I always tell people it takes 21 days to create a habit and it takes 21 days to break a habit. So I remember, so I went into like a triathlon mode, like that's like a side story, but it was part of my thing. And I told myself if I could do, I was terrified of the swimming aspect outside. I was like, if I could do this though for 21 days, then it's going to be no big deal. And I could go swim in any water and it's not going to matter. And so that's what I did. Like I literally took a calendar and I marked it. Like I marked the days, and it was towards the end of it, it just kind of was like more of a mental thing, but it helps kind of keep the like repetitive motion of doing something.
Sure. And the consistency. Yeah, absolutely. I say all the time, one of the things that I love to talk about, and I have this written on my desk just as a personal reminder, but there's 3 things that I always focus on. Number 1 is staying disciplined.
Yeah.
Number 2 is staying proactive. And number 3 is staying consistent, right? Because all 3 of those things lead into the other, and they will play an important role in your growth mentally, physically, and to find that balance that people are often looking for. And what's great about your story is that you have found, like by telling your story, by documenting this, you have found this incredible loyal following of a bunch of like 2.0 people, right? and you mentioned, you alluded to this before, but you talked about your TikTok following, and that's how I found you. I found you via TikTok, and you have this following of these 2.0ers that are supportive of you and your journey and your experience. Can you talk about what the response has been like to putting yourself out there publicly, telling your story, and then being able to see these people that are grasping on to this mantra that you have? What has that journey been like for you so far?
So that's like one thing that I realized a little bit in 2020, and I don't know if I think it's the biggest oxymoron ever, is that I now almost like the most extroverted, shy person ever. And it's because I love talking to people. I'm doing a TikTok live as we're doing this, so like people could see this, right? I love doing those. I love getting the comments in and talking to people, but when people start doing you've changed my life, you have helped me so much, you don't understand like meant to like hear back from, like those things, I still have such a hard time hearing it and like believing that I helped somebody. Like to me, it's just mind-blowing that this like normal, simple girl like could just do it. It's mind-blowing. It blows my mind because it happens every day. Like people comment and send me messages every day, and it's unbelievable. Like it is truly unbelievable. There's probably, I don't know how many now, because it's like, it's quite shocking to me and like humbling in like the craziest way, but there's people literally changing their names on TikTok to Kyrus 2.0 or like whatever 2.0.
Right.
And I am literally like, what? And they say, yeah,
Yeah,
because
and it's incredible. I was going to mention that because like that's loyalty right there. That's knowing that you like fully have affected people, because they are literally changing their usernames to mimic what you have done. So like so for those of you that don't know, if you want to follow Misty on TikTok, it's Misty2point0, right? It's Misty, the number 2, the letter or the word point, and the number 0, right? Misty2point0. And people are going online and changing their names to mimic that. That's something that you began. That's something that you have started that people are grasping onto. And I can't even imagine how humbling / exciting / scary that entire concept is.
Like I said, it's very humbling and it's very crazy to me.
Sure.
Because like I said, I just feel like I'm just this like normal person that just put my story out there.
But that's what people like, though. That's what people like, though, because you're not one of the things that I love about you and your stuff is that you're not trying to be anybody else except for you. You are just being genuine. And I think that, and I say this to up and coming like influencers all the time. I say, listen, you don't have to pretend to be anybody except yourself. You just be you, because people are not dumb. They can see through the bullshit most of the time, right? So they're more likely to latch on and to support people that are just pure, genuine. And that's what you are. And I think that's why people have been grasping onto your story and your message, because like, I know you're going to sit here and be all like, oh, I'm just me. Well, yeah, you are you. And like, people love that. That's amazing. That is amazing. Don't you undersell yourself, damn it. That's not how we roll here. We don't undersell ourselves here on the Kyrus Has Friends podcast. Hell no.
I just need a hype guy. That's what it is.
That'll be me.
Okay.
I'll be in your next rap battle. I will be in the background hyping you up. Let's do it.
Done.
That's amazing. So what's next? So like, you have this incredible thing going, right? Which is, and I tell you all the time, I wouldn't be surprised, and you never believe me when I say this to you.
Never believe you.
I say to you all the time, I say Misty is going to blow up. Like, she's going to become like this really big, like huge TikToker, bigger than what she already is, right? She's going to like blow up. She doesn't believe me that it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. And now, but I'm curious, like, what is next for you? We're in a new year. You have this good thing going. You have found your footing, I guess, you know, from a mental standpoint, from a physical standpoint. What is the next challenge that you face as we head into this new year?
I think honestly, and again, I would have never expected to do something like this, but so I launched my merch line at the beginning of December. I had told people, like, listen, if my
This is when I point out the hat. This is when I point out the hat right here. So for those of you that are watching, I'm wearing a hat, and if you can see Misty's shirt as well, that's her logo, Misty2point0. Go get it. Go get it right now.
And I'll explain the logo in a second. But so I told people, like, listen, if my likes on TikTok get to 1 million views or 1 million likes, whatever, fine. Like, I'll go launch some merch. Everybody was asking for it, and I'm like, okay, fine. And so sure enough, that happened quickly after that. And I think we had people go do all the videos. But I launched it, and the response was wild. Again, amazing. Another one of those like moments of like, I only thought maybe like 5 people would buy something. Like, why would you want to buy my logo? Like, this is silly. Right. But it's like all of the people that wanted a reminder, right? Of like I can do this. And if selling you a shirt or selling you a hat or getting you a sticker to put somewhere and you see it every day helps that, then yeah, then it was all worth it. Like it was worth the time to like figure out how to do it. But so because this has taken off quite a bit, yeah, I don't have a plan, but over the last 2 weeks, because again, I went away and did a lot of like soul searching and just processing and like loving myself again. I have ideas. Like I have some ideas of like, okay, how can I take this Find Your 2.0 thing to the next level? Like, is there other things that we can do with this? So yeah, like I'm talking to some people about some ideas. None of which like I can say because like I don't have like a formal idea to like tell anybody, but I have like bits and pieces of things like that I would like to do to like help people. So yeah, that I guess that's like in terms of the movement, right? Like what's next for the movement is
right.
I don't 100% know, but there's going to be something.
Right. There's stuff coming. There's stuff coming. And people should be on the lookout.
Be on the lookout.
Yeah.
But I mean, other than that, like personally, I just want to keep growing myself. Like just because I'm Misty 2.0 right now doesn't mean that my journey's done, like at all. Let's be honest, like Misty 2.1 doesn't sound as good. So like I'll never like change it, but let's just like hypothetically in your mind understand that like there's probably going to be a 2.1 and a 2.2. Like that's just because I think as much as I feel like I have found like my purpose and like my best life right now, in 5 years, like this might not be my best life. So I think as long as people understand that you should always be growing. I think as people, we all should always be thinking about like what's next and like how can I always get better. I don't think you should ever just settle for like, I'm good now, so why do I need to, you know? So I've got, you know, things that I'll work on personally still for myself and, you know, just myself. And then like as a mom, like things that I know I need to do better.
Right.
But yeah.
Nice. Do I smell a book? Do I smell a book coming one day? Oh
my God. Funny, like I love to write, but I've never, I had people tell me a lot, like, why haven't you ever written a book? And I just, I don't know how to do that. Like I could sit and journal all day, but like, you're not publishing my journal, obviously. So it's no,
I'm not publishing your journal. That's what I'm trying to get out of this. I'm just trying to weasel my way in so I can steal your journal. The journal and then make profits off of it.
It doesn't have a lock on it, but it's got a tie on it that like only I know how to untie.
I can't untie things. I'm really bad at that. So
I love the idea. Like if I could sit and just talk to somebody and talk through things and they wrote the story and it was like that, like maybe that would work. But yeah, I'm not a writer to like go do
I love that concept. Just talk at somebody and then they write it. Yeah. I think I'll call it an autobiography. I love that name. I coined it.
Is that what that would be? Would we be writing an autobiography?
Yeah. If you just tell it to somebody or if they just do it on their own. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not opposed
let's make it
to
happen.
that
I'll
idea.
write it and I'll take all of the profit.
Sure.
You heard it here first, and this is recorded and it lives on the internet forever. So in the court of law, just know that she gave me permission.
Yeah. All profits go to Kai.
What is your biggest piece of advice for people heading into 2021? Because obviously, you know, people are super duper excited. Hey, 2020 is over, or you know, whatever their feelings were about 2020. There's always this fresh feeling, this fresh new car smell about a new year. But what I always try to tell people, like, just because it's a turning of the page doesn't mean that all of the issues or all of the things that you work so hard on just disappear or get better, right? So what would you say to anybody listening right now that is looking for some just guidance as they head into this new year, what is your biggest piece of advice?
Well, I would say don't forget about all of those things that have like weighed you down. To be honest, I mean, I don't think anybody can really go forward unless they work through like what was holding them back. So I think in a healthy way, right? Think about what you want to do. Like get excited about something. Like if something was weighing you down, what's something that's gonna like excite you to move forward from that, right? Like I don't even know. Like I struggled pretty much in this last like month with a lack of motivation to work out, to be honest. Like I still was, but it wasn't like at a level that was even worth it to me. So let's just take mine, for example, which is a minimal one. That's why today I went to gym and I did 2 classes back to back and suffered because like mentally for me, like I want to get back in the routine of doing that. So for me, if I go do it, then, you know, and then I'll mark on the calendar, like today was day 1. So get to 21 days. Like, I think it's setting a goal too. Like as dumb as resolutions are, I think it's dumb to call it a resolution. Like a resolution is dumb to me. That whole idea of a New Year's resolution is dumb. Just set a goal. Like don't resolve, just what is your goal? So make a goal and put it on a sticky note and put it somewhere.
Right.
I mean, I think that, I don't know if anybody knows who David Goggins is, but he's a badass mofo who literally, I read his book in 2020 and it changed my life. There's a piece of it where he talks about like an accountability mirror, right? So I took sticky notes. I did one for my professional life. I did one for my mom life. And then I just did one for just like personal life. And I wrote down 3 things on a sticky note for each group. And I put them on my mirror that I have. And every day I had to look at it. And it was like, okay, well, if you want to check the box off of one of those and you want to take one of those off, you better like get to it and start doing it. Some of them were just motivational, which is fine, but some of them were goals. Like I want to be able to do this. Like I want to be able to do that. And if you, I think, have something to look at every day, I think it helps. Like, I think if you try to just tell yourself something every day, that's fine. But if you see it, like if it hits you in the face every single day, I think it's a better way to kind of go for it. Right. So. Nice.
Okay.
Accountability.
Well, I guess I'll take that with advice.
Accountability.
Okay. I can't say that word for something. Oh my goodness. Accountability. It's like how I say, oh my gosh, worry. I can't say that word. It is the most difficult name in the history of names. Rory.
Like a lion roars.
Roar.
E.
Roar. E. Did I say it? Did I get it right?
Barely.
All right, I'll work on it. By the way, I'm so this is why I want people to know that I'm excited to one day meet you in person, because I will be for people that don't know, Misty is a basketball player. She likes playing the basketball. And she needs to get dunked on.
I don't know why you're so aggressive about that.
I will be dunking on you. I will jump from the free throw line, and you're going to try and block it. And I'm going to be like,
Not going to happen. Next question.
Okay. Wow. Okay. And we're going to document this entire thing. It's going to be the most viral TikTok of all time. Me just jumping and just like, yeah.
Just so you know, viral TikToks don't come to my account. They come to Die. So that's just my jab at TikTok for the day. That's just my.
Speaking of, if people want to find more Misty online, where can they find you?
On TikTok. He just spit out his water. He literally spit his water everywhere, you guys. I'm telling my TikTok family, he spit it out everywhere.
No, I know. This is a setup for you to promote your platform. Where can they find you? What do they put into the search bar?
Misty2point0 on TikTok. Or Spreadshirt Misty2point0. Like, that's where I sell my merch. Like, I'm right there.
Yeah. And for those what's
no,
up?
go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say for those of you that may not know how to find her because she's not being specific. I'm kidding. I'm busting your chops. So I'm also when this is being recorded, it's going to be put up on my podcast in a couple of days, and I'm going to put it in the show notes so people can just click and then follow. And you guys want to make sure that you follow this woman because I promise you, if you're looking for just good motivational content, if you're looking for a fun person that likes to dance and make you smile fun. And it's like she is a
mediocre dance moves. Let's just like prepare people. They're mediocre.
What did I tell you about underselling yourself? What did I tell you about underselling yourself?
Listen, the best part of my though is when I screw up a dance and I just take it and make it my own. It is the best made up dance you've ever seen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's all you have to do. Nobody knows. It's your dance now, damn it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to put it up in the show notes so you'll be able to click and follow. I promise you, you do not want to miss out on following this incredible woman. I follow her. And I have to say, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Misty2point0. I think she's okay.
I'm okay.
She's okay. So much so that I got a hat. I got a hat.
That
I'm
logo
gonna get a hoodie
is pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. How did this logo come to be?
So, I mean, I tried to I messed with ideas. I was like, I would. Like, let's go 2.0. Like, I did so many variations and ideas. I had like just a peace sign with like a 0 and like, let's go. Like, I went through, I can't even tell you how many iterations until I was like, oh, and I wrote a 2 and then I did the O with like the dot in it. Cause I was like, oh, that'll be cool. And like, as I'm looking at it, I'm like, wait a minute. Like, if I make a 2 backwards and like put it next to it, it kind of makes a heart, which is kind of cool. And I looked at it and I was like, oh, yeah, like that's cool. And so, yeah, it was bam. I do have to say that I had some help from a rather large creator that many of you know, that is a very good friend of mine who probably deserves like 99% of the credit for actually finding like that part of it. But that's what best friends are for, right? Is to like help you.
Are you going to give this person credit? Or are you just going to allude?
His name is Ed Dudes. I don't know if you know him, this guy
Ed Dudes. I know Ed Dudes.
Ed Dudes on TikTok.
I want Ed Dudes' hair. That's what I want.
He does have great hair. I've touched
it. Is it real?
It's real. There's a real head of hair. It is a real party.
I want that.
It's amazing.
I think I'm going to.
That's actually because of his hair is how him and I became like friends. Was because I made a TikTok about like I just want to play with that dude's hair. Like that's all I want to do in life is just one time just let me play with your hair and whatever. And he made a video reply to that comment and like bam. And then a month or so later, him and his wife Taylor popped into a live that I had. And then she basically like jumped into my DMs and we became literal best friends. So
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
His hair.
I love it. I love it. Love it. Love it. Well, I'm so thankful that you got to take time out of your day to speak with me and to hang out with me and to join me on my podcast. You are a joy. I'm so happy that you and I have met.
Me
Well,
too.
not met,
We
but like
haven't met.
virtually met. And that's one of the beautiful things about 2020 is that uh, even though it was a dumpster fire for a lot of reasons, there are great
Yes.
things that came out of it, including these incredible friendships and relationships that you would not have had if it were any other year. I don't
Yeah.
know, Misty, if you and I would have crossed paths at
I
all.
would have, if it wouldn't have been pandemic and literally being stuck in my house, I would have never
Hmm.
downloaded TikTok. Because
Hmm.
I didn't have time. I was out working full time, single momming. Like I didn't have time for that.
Right.
Um, and so
Right.
yeah, like there would have been a lot of things, and it's like I get like kind of emotional sometimes even thinking about it. But yeah, like there's a lot of things that happened in 2020 that I am so thankful for. That if they
Hmm.
wouldn't have happened, I can't even imagine like life what now, like not having those things happened. So
Right.
like
Right.
I will forever be grateful for the god awful dumpster fire of
Right.
2020.
Well, I'm so happy that you got to join me today. Here is to a fruitful and healthy and lovely 2021. This
Yes.
is exactly how I wanted to start off the new year. I adore you with all of my heart. You already know this. And I'm so happy that we have crossed paths, and I cannot wait to see this grow even further.
Me too.
Oh, that's what you wanted me to say, right? Did I say all the things that you wanted me to say nice about you?
I mean, I think you were so nice.
Oh, okay. All right. Just want to make sure I got
Yep.
everything crossed off the list. I
Yes.
want to thank Misty 2.0 for joining me today. And thank you, everybody, for watching and listening to the Kyrus Has Friends podcast. If you want more Misty, you can follow her on TikTok at Misty, the number 2 point, the number 0, Misty 2.0. I'm going to put it in the show notes for those of you that are having trouble finding it. And if you want more of me and my beautiful mug, you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at The Vibe with Kai. Or you can visit my official website at thevibewithkai.com, where I'm always posting blogs and visuals that'll help you do good, feel good, be good, and live a good life full of good vibes. Misty, thank you again for joining me. Everybody else, have a wonderful rest of your day. As always, God bless and good vibes.